With SummerSlam behind us, what will the fallout be on tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw? The WWE usually runs an eventful show after the biggest party of the summer, so let's hope it delivers. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at your Raw recap for the 12th August 2019 show as well as your latest wrestling news. Raw is coming from you from the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, the same place Seth Rollins defeated Universal Champion Brock Lesnar the night before. He comes out and the Universal Champion thanks the fans for giving him the energy to defeat Brock Lesnar. The Beast Slayer tells everyone he wasn't 100% and that Brock is everything he claims to be. Nonetheless, he got through with the fans' help and they took him someplace he'd never been before in his career. AJ Styles music plays and the US Champion enters with Anderson and Gallows challenging Rollins to a match. The new Universal Champion tells Styles he used to respect him, but not anymore. Rollins promises to teach Styles a lesson in respect, but refuses his handshake as the other OC members stand by ominously. Backstage, the Street Profits discuss some of SummerSlam's biggest matches until Sami Zayn shows up, trash-talking Rollins, Becky Lynch and Samoa Joe. Regrettably for Zayn, the Samoan submission machine is standing right there and challenges Zayn to back things up in the ring. He shoves him down for his troubles. It seems that Samoa Joe has gone full on face now, and that match is up next, and it's squash time for Zayn as Joe dispatches Sami with the Coquina Clutch. After the match, Joe informs the fans he's forgiven Roman Reigns for blaming him for the attack, but he'll never forgive the fans for falsely accusing him. Okay, maybe he hasn't turned face. The WWE announces the King of the Ring tournament is returning next week on Monday Night Raw. The 16 wrestlers confirmed are as follows: The Miz, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Ali, Kevin Owens, Chad Gable, Andrade, Shelton Benjamin, Sami Zayn, Cedric Alexander, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, Buddy Murphy, Cesaro, Elias and Samoa Joe. Now our money is all on Drew McIntyre. Okay, not every King of the Winner has had a great track record after winning, but if they want to build him back up into a star, let him win where the WWE Universe all hails to King McIntyre. That was our pick, who you guys got? Next up is Dolph Ziggler vs The Miz, as Dolph enters in his street clothes and tells The Miz he's not cleared to wrestle thanks to the beating he took at the hands of Goldberg at SummerSlam. What a spear though. Dolph tells Miz he had Goldberg take his place because The Miz knew he couldn't beat him. It seems like the match will be scrubbed, but that is until Ziggler blindsides The Miz. But despite the sneak attack, Ziggler just can't get the job done. Miz kicks out of the zigzag, blocks a super kick, then locks in a figure 4 for the submission win. After the bout, Ziggler throws shade on The Miz, leading to the A-lister delivering a skull-crushing finale. So this seems to be his new gimmick, whining after losing to a match. We can't say we hate it. The Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch is backstage, and she gives props to Natalya for their match at SummerSlam, but shifts gears to say she said a long time ago she was coming for everyone, and that if you're smart, you'll get her before she gets you. Elias is in the ring with his guitar and he senses someone is going to interrupt him, so he invites them to come down to the ring. Ricochet shows up and the two engage in insults, setting up a match. It must be Elias' night to get some offense in as he actually puts up a fight before Ricochet pins him with a sunset flip from the top rope. Who are we kidding? Elias is basically used as cannon fodder nowadays. Next up, it's a 2 out of 3 falls match between Rey Mysterio vs Andrade. Even though this is their 3rd or 4th encounter, we ain't complaining as these two have been having some good battles for the last few weeks, so this should be entertaining. Rey goes for the 619 but Vega blocks and Andrade covers Rey, getting the first fall with an assist from Vega. The second fall features action in and out of the ring and the high-flying action you'd expect from both superstars. Rey goes to even the score with a 619 followed by a frog splash. Andrade lifts his knees and hits the DDT on Rey for the second and decisive fall. WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin appears, via Skype, and praises Seth Rollins' gutsy performance at SummerSlam. Michael Cole asked a Texas Rattlesnake if he offered any advice to him. Austin replies he told Seth to stay focused and Seth found a piece of himself he did not see before. This random appearance was just to hype Austin's new show, Straight Up Steve Austin. It is still good to see him. Backstage, Rey Mysterio can't believe he lost 2 matches straight. He's worried because he has a family to support and he doesn't know where his career is going. Pro Wrestling Sheet's Ryan Satin has an interesting theory that this angle may lead to Dominic Mysterio stepping up to take over the family business. Backstage, Drew McIntyre discusses his match against Cedric Alexander, as Alexander's had his moment of fame teaming with Roman Reigns and facing the Scottish psychopath, but the dream ends tonight. This match is up next, and this is no quick match with a roll-up win for Cedric, but a hard-fought battle that sees both men pummeling each other. The two brawl out onto the floor, nearly getting counted out. McIntyre goes to end things with an Alabama slam, only for Cedric to reverse it into a roll-up. Kick out at 2 as Drew levels Cedric with a Claymore for the win. Again, we sincerely hope he wins the King of the Ring. He really needs it right now. Backstage, Anderson and Gallows tells AJ he couldn't do what Seth did, defeat Brock Lesnar. Styles counters as he says he's never received as many chances as Rollins did. Well, he's not lying. It doesn't matter as he's going to defeat Rollins tonight. Next up, strangely enough, it's Robert Roode versus No Way Jose. Did half of the Raw roster suffer an outbreak of puppy flu or get food poisoning from the catering crew? How else to explain the presence of both Robert Roode and No Way Jose on Raw? Oh, by the way, Roode wins with a glorious DDT. A quick interview with Paul Heyman reveals Brock Lesnar won't get a rematch for the Universal Championship. Did Brock use up all his 2019 appearances by working a 13-minute match? Next up, tag team action as the Revival go up against the Lucha House Party, but the match doesn't get far as 24/7 champion R-Truth and Carmella are chased by a mob of title contenders. Chaos ensues as the Revival pin R-Truth after hitting the heart attack. However, the ever-wily Truth covers Dawson for the pin. Backstage, Truth boasts of his many 24/7 title wins, only to get blasted by Elias with a guitar. Elias pins Truth to become the latest 24/7 champ. There's a hype video showcasing Roman Reigns' search for his assailants, and tomorrow night, Rowan's apparent attacker Rowan and tag team partner Daniel Bryan will be on SmackDown with Reigns confronting Rowan. Natalya comes out with her arm in a sling and tells fans Becky Lynch was the better wrestler at SummerSlam, but she's not done. Although her elbow is dislocated, Natty promises she'll be back for a rematch with Lynch. She tells the fans she had a dream about her dad, who died 1 year ago today, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart told her how proud he is of her. But just then, Sasha Banks shows up, hugs Natty, then proceeds to paste her with a slap, followed by an all-out assault on Natalya's injured arm. She reveals her blue hair, which equals heel turn, and the boss grabs a chair, but the man runs in for the save, brawling with Banks. However, Banks gets the chair and repeatedly blasts Becky with it, and throws the man into the steel steps before leaving. Ooh, this is gonna be good. It's jobber squashing time as the Viking Raiders go up against local talent. We don't need to tell you the outcome of this. There's a women's tag team championship match as Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss go up against the Kabuki Warriors. Cross and Bliss get introduced to strong style as the Kabuki Warriors deliver solid strikes. However, Cross and Bliss prove capable of brawling, and they finish the challenges with Cross hitting a swinging neckbreaker on Kyrie, and Bliss wins after delivering the Twisted Bliss. And the main event sees Universal Champion Seth Rollins take on United States Champion AJ Styles in a non-title match. This is a case of either man being able to come out on top, but Styles having the edge thanks to Gallows and Anderson's presence at ringside. The referee finally orders Anderson and Gallows to the back, but they finally run in, attacking Rollins. Rollins wins by disqualification. It's 3-on-1 and things look bad for Rollins until Ricochet makes the save. However, the OC play the numbers game to their advantage until Braun Strowman runs in, cleaning house and handing the title back to Seth as Raw closes out. That was the recap, but let's look at the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly. First up, the boss is back and she's heel. As after months of speculation as to whether Sasha Banks was coming back, she returned to the WWE and did so with a vengeance, laying out Natalya and presumably setting the stage for a match against Becky Lynch. This was well done and one of the evening's few highlights. Number 2, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. It's always good to see a legend like Stone Cold Steve Austin, even if it's just an appearance via Skype. Austin did a good job putting Seth over, and Rollins' opening promo is another sign of the WWE trying to get the WWE Universe to invest in him as their top babyface. The Drew vs Cedric match was outstanding, as well as the Rey vs Andrade 2 out of 3 falls match. The WWE exemplifies that the company has world-class talent, even if they don't always know how to use them. And it also seems like the pile driver is back, as even though it's all but banned, it was cool seeing AJ go for a pile driver on Seth during their match. But that was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, there was so much wasted talent. The WWE has world-class talent, but they're not using them or pushing them in the way that elevates them into stars. Look at the Raw roster and ask yourself how many wrestlers are being pushed as upper card or main event players. Very few. Cedric Alexander proved he deserves a push, and while things look promising based on the last few weeks, the same can't be said for talent such as Sami Zayn, Bobby Roode or No Way Jose. Braun Strowman's surprise appearance is yet another example of a guy who's been doing nothing. Will he get a shot at Rollins? Will the WWE pull a swerve and put him in the OC? Who knows? And number 2, inconsistency strikes again. The WWE has shown they can put on good shows. The problem, as seen tonight, is that they can't seem to do it on a regular basis. Yes, the Sasha Banks segment was fantastic and we love that the King of the Ring is back, but the rest of the show was otherwise average at best. But what about the damn right ugly, as apparently Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't the only person to phone things in last night. Raw's creative team must have either spent themselves writing SummerSlam or they decided to go on cruise control. Either way, this show was a bit of a letdown after an entertaining pay-per-view. But that was the recap, the good, the bad and the ugly. What about some wrestling news? As the Trish vs Flair saga was supposed to be a comeback, not a farewell match. Stratus's match against Charlotte Flair was one of the several outstanding bouts at SummerSlam, with Stratus heading off into the sunset after putting the Queen over. However, according to Stratus, the match was supposed to be part 1 of a comeback. She spoke with WWE's Kayla Braxton about her original plans and what happened. It was supposed to be a comeback match, but as everything set in, it became clear that it was a farewell match. So emotions set in at that point. I'm so honoured to have been able to go in there with Charlotte Flair. Honestly, it was an honour and a privilege to be in there with an athlete of her calibre. I'm thankful that the girls let me dip my toes into the waters of today. We definitely feel like the girls from before. We laid the platform, but they built a skyscraper. Next up, never means never. Now the phrase never say never often applies in professional wrestling, with retired superstars returning not long after their first, or in Terry Funk's case, 23rd farewell. While Stone Cold Steve Austin has always teased he had one more match left in him, that's apparently no longer the case. Austin spoke with Sports Illustrated about any return to the ring, and he mentioned, "I'm following the world from which I came from, but I can't wrestle anymore. I don't live in the past. I'm happy I was Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I also want to show people who and what Steve Austin is all about." Next up, why NXT was never an option for AJ Styles. As fans know, the Phenomenal One jumped from New Japan Pro Wrestling to the WWE, skipping the almost mandatory journey through NXT before debuting on the main roster. During an appearance on WWE Now, Styles recalled, "I wasn't the youngest guy. Going through NXT for me wasn't going to be an option unless you're talking about a month just to get used to everything and learn how the WWE works. Literally everything worked out the way I needed it to. Sometimes I'm very jealous of the people who went through NXT because they know each other so well. But at the same time is of the essence for me to get to the main roster and do what I do." And our last news looks at some WWE tidbits, as according to Cage Side Seats, Bray Wyatt merchandise sold like crazy at SummerSlam, so don't be surprised to see Wyatt pushed to the moon. The site also reported that although Kane has been advertised for 2 Louisiana shows, his spokesperson stated that the mayor of Knoxville County, Tennessee won't be wrestling in the foreseeable future. Perhaps this is the best time for a Hall of Fame induction in 2020. But there you have it guys, the Raw recap, the good, the bad and the ugly, and some wrestling news. What were your thoughts on Raw? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.